Welcome to the UCM Interface Bible Study dito sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, Agapay ng Sambayanan. Isa itong conversational expository Bible study program hatid sa inyo ng UCM Interface, ang Young Adults Ministry ng Union Church of Manila. We do our best to study context and let Scripture speak for itself. Ang programang ito ay isang teaching ministry ng Union Church of Manila, a church of many nations committed to making disciples who are transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ.
All right. Introductions first, around the table.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm a neurologist.
Ako naman si Rainier, Director ng Young Adult Ministry dito sa Union Church of Manila.
And I'm Prissy.
This is Gutch. Today we're going to be discussing Daniel 6.
Daniel 6.
These are going to be our chunks of discussion across the whole of Daniel 6.
Verses 1 to 9, ito yung plot against Daniel. Verses 10 to 18, this is when Daniel was singled out for punishment. 19 to 24, this was the ordeal and the rescue. Ginamit ko yung ordeal, hindi siya punishment. Papaliwanag din natin yan mamaya. And then finally, verses 25 to 28, vindication ni Daniel. Tingnan natin yung verse 1 sa chapter 6. May binanggit na pangalan eh. Darius. Oo. Sino ba tong Darius na to? At ano ba yung katungkulan niya? Kasi una tong nabanggit dun sa chapter 5, the last verse.
Yeah.
Tinutukoy dito, meron ng bagong superpower. Wala na yung Babylonians. Ito ay panahon na ng Persians and Medes. Pero sino nga ba yung Darius na ito?
Mga iba't ibang sources as to who Darius is. One is that Darius was just a title.
Tama.
It's not a name.
It's not a proper name.
Wala na ako siya.
Oo, it's just a title, a throne name.
Si Chief.
Parang gano'n, no? Cheap, gano'n. Pero kasi nga, iba na yung nag-ahari. So may mga ina-assign sila mga sa bawat region, may katungkulan. At itong Darius ay naka-assign dun sa Babylon.
So malam mayor yan, parang gano'n.
Parang gano'n siguro.
So now we are on, so merong three
Darius.
high officials.
Oo.
Daniel was one to whom these satraps should give account so that the king might suffer no loss.
Ang nakakatuwa dito, nagpalit na ng superpower.
Si Daniel
Si
hindi
Daniel nandun
napalitan.
pa rin. Hindi ba?
Outliving
Kasi,
the kings.
di ba? Kasi kung tutuusin mo, galing ka sa dating administrasyon, nagpalit na ng mga leaders.
Hindi pa rin si Daniel.
In fact, hindi lang leaders. Talagang isang bagong superpower na to. Pero nandun pa rin si Daniel.
Ba't kaya?
Di ba? Kaya nga, kung ikaw bago kang leader, kukuha ka pa ba dun sa dating administrasyon?
Usually hindi.
Kasi baka mamaya sirain
You
pa
make new
yung mga plano mo.
appointments,
Di
yung
ba?
mga
Oo.
kakilala mo.
Malay mo, traitor ka. Pwedeng ganung tingnan, pero hindi eh. Kinuha pa rin siya, at saka matanda na si Daniel dito.
He's 80 plus na eh.
Something
Siguro.
like that, probably.
80 plus.
Oo. Pero bakit kaya si Daniel napili pa din? Tingnan natin yung verse 3.
Daniel became distinguished above all the other high officials and satraps because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. Magaling kasi
an
siya
excellent
spirit.
was in him. Sabi nga dun sa verse 3, Daniel so distinguished himself among the administrators and the satraps by his exceptional qualities.
But this was seen,
Recognized na.
To the point na the king actually planned to set him over the whole kingdom.
Right. Tsaka teka lang, kami yung kasama mo. Kapwa mo kami Persian o kapwa mo kami Mede, dapat kami rin. Bakit inuna mo pa itong
Foreigner.
sinakop natin na to?
So-
Or they went as a group. Oh,
Yeah, they
so
went as a group
ano yung pinagkaisahan nila?
to bring Daniel down.
Paano?
Unless we find it in connection with the law of his God. Yung reputation talaga na he's spotless. Pero kung pwede nating gawing religious yung labanan,
Doon natin siya
pwede
masisira.
nating masisira. Ang ganda nung reputation ni Daniel dito na wala silang mahanap na butas sa character niya. They just don't agree with his religion, with his worship. Pero other than that, his reputation is stellar.
Grabe itong mga lawmakers na to, no? Ano ang inuuna nila sa paggawa nila ng batas?
Sarili nila.
Even si Darius, I don't think he had a problem with Daniel being a follower of Yahweh.
Hindi naman siya
Parang-
issue eh.
You'd see it through the next verses na he actually didn't mind. Especially in declaration niya sa dulo, may your God. Ganyan.
Kaya ano nga itong ginawa nilang batas?
Verses 6 to 9.
So then these high officials and satraps came by agreement to the king and said to him, O King Darius, live forever. All the high officials of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the counselors and the governors are agreed that the king should establish an ordinance and enforce an injunction, that whoever makes petition to any god or man for 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions.
Doon ka lang sasamba
Kay Darius.
kay Darius. Hindi kanino man. Pero weird. 30 days lang. Bakit kaya hindi sinabi na,
Buong taon
buong taon na kaya, sagarin na natin. No? May time limit pa
Deadline,
eh. Hindi ko rin malaman kung anong sagot dito. But I just find it very weird na gagawa ka rin lang naman ng edict, pampayabang. Hindi pa sinagad-sagad.
Meron lang kasi silang agenda. So pag nagawa na yung agenda, so okay na. Hindi naman talaga nila
Pakialam
iniisip
talaga.
na gawin siya forever. Second is they just wanted to appeal to Darius and siguro yung probability na papayag si Darius, 30 days lang naman. Sige, okay na.
Maybe baka masyadong mabigat yan considering na
Yeah.
buong kingdom polytheist
Like
eh.
how
So,
can you force people na okay, isang God lang muna for 1 month?
ridiculous.
Oo,
Pero
oo.
ito, okay lang naman na 1 month na since polytheist lahat.
Ay,
and then-
okay.
pero
1
itong
month lang naman pala eh.
Oh, 1
Dito
month.
muna tayo kay Darius
Oo.
manalangin.
Darius
Diba?
Appreciation Month tayo.
Oo. Kaysa naman gawing forever. Mag-aalsa na yung mga tao kasi, teka lang, devotee kami ni ganito, ni
Oo.
ganyan. Kailan pa namin siya mapasasamba ulit?
Magiging monotheist sila pag
Oo, hindi naman ganun ang
Oo.
culture nila. So, 30 days, pwede na
It's just
acceptable.
It's long enough para mahuli na nila si Daniel.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yung
So yun
agenda
naman
nila.
talaga yung...
Yun naman yung agenda
Yun naman
talaga.
yung
Wala
gusto
silang
nila eh.
pakialam eh.
Kumbaga, nagagamit lang dito si Darius.
Yes.
Di ba?
And he doesn't realize it.
Hindi niya nare-realize na nagagamit lang siya para lang dun sa agenda ng mga leaders na to.
It's very interesting, yung pattern of the rulers. Daniel 1 to 6 is big characters who are rulers. You'd see the different characteristics. You'd have a ruler who's like a super bully, and then you have another ruler na he's on top, but he's actually not on top. Iniikot-ikot na pala siya
Right.
dito. Klase.
Ikaw na ngayon dapat pinakamakapangyarihan sa Babylon. You're Darius. You have that title. Pero, hindi ka pala talaga makapangyarihan. Kasi nagagamit ka lang eh.
Nauuto ka.
Nauuto ka lang.
Thinking about that and also about power, no?
Oo, that's the vanity of earthly power.
You might have the rank, but are you really in power?
No.
Parang ganun no?
When you are craving power, yung mga ganyang maliliit na mga pangpa-boost ng ego mo, papatulan mo.
Na yung pala, hindi na pala ikaw in control.
Oo.
It's your desires kasi you're a beast, diba?
Yeah.
Yun nga yung theme.
Kasi nga di ba, all beasts, they are only driven by their instincts and desires. Ganyan sila mag-isip lahat. Ituloy na natin, yung kwento. Ngayon, ano nga ba nangyari dun sa edict na yon? Na-release ba?
Yeah.
In decree? Oo.
So pagka hindi nila ginawa, they will be cast into the den of lions.
Okay, kailangan malinaw. Ano daw ang parusa?
Be thrown into the den of lions.
Okay, tatandaan natin yan. Mamaya ipapaliwanag ko rin kung anong kahalagahan nun.
Okay.
Now, in verse 10, nalaman ba ni Daniel kung ano yung decree?
Oh, he knew.
Kahit nalaman niya kung ano yung decree,
Tinuloy pa rin niya yung
dead
ginagawa
ma.
niya.
Business as usual.
Oo. Ganun ba? Bawal pala. Okay.
Sige, let's read that.
Hindi siya natinag no?
He went to his house where he had his windows in his upper chamber open toward Jerusalem. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he had done previously.
As he had done previously.
Walang
Nothing changed.
nabago.
Business as usual.
Hindi naman ito yung parang, magre-rebelde ako. He's just
hindi.
doing what he's been doing.
Consistent lang. Ganda nga nito kasi he could have just said, God, sige, break muna tayo for 1 month. 1 month lang naman Inconvenient kasi.
Oo.
Diba?
Oo.
Pero I think it is in these situations, in these little situations, doon lalabas kung sino talaga yung hari sa buhay natin.
Right,
ano?
right.
Yeah.
Di ba lagi nating binabalikan yung Romans 13, 1-7 at marami nagsasabi na dapat mag-obey ka lang dun sa governing authorities. Naku, paano to? Si Daniel sumuway. No?
Deliberately
Oo.
against.
So, totoo ba na you just blindly follow the governing authorities? Is that how we are supposed to understand that?
Well, from Daniel's example, I think he knows who is the one on top, the governing authority above all governing
Above all
authorities.
governing
And-
authorities.
And he is the one to be followed
Right.
beyond anyone.
Pinakita nga ni Daniel na you don't blindly follow any human leader. Kaya basahin natin yung Acts 5:29.
Peter and the apostles answered, "We must obey God rather than men."
Ito isang magandang principle na pinakita rin sa atin ni Daniel. Sino pala yung nagsasalita sa Book of Acts? It's
Peter and the apostles answered,
Peter and the apostles, sinabi nila,
"We must obey God."
it's imperative that we obey God. Only God is perfect. And therefore, we only have to submit to His authority. Absolutely. Kasi gumagawa ng kung ano-anong kamalian ng tao. Maganda rin minsan, pag-aralan din nga natin yung Romans 13, 1-7. Siguro magkakaroon tayo ng panahon para mapag-aralan yan. Pero gusto ko lang banggitin yan sa ngayon na hindi ito pwedeng
Blanket
itawag
statement.
yan. Oo.
Maybe in a special episode coming up in the next few weeks.
Right. Oo. Tapos, pansinin nyo, may habits kasi siya eh.
Yeah.
Ilang beses siya nagdarasal?
3 times
3
a day.
times. Actually, hindi naman nakasabi na 3 times a day siya nag-pray talaga. He could have been praying like 30 times a day.
Pero,
He
anong
got
sinabi?
down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God.
As yet, previously, so mukhang may pattern o may habit.
Mhm.
Sige, tingnan natin, ano ba kaya ang basihan niya, ano yung nag-inspire sa kanya na gawin ito? Psalm 55 verse 17.
Evening and morning and at noon, I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice.
Ito ba dapat tayo din, ganun? Is this a command? No. Walang rule na 3 times a day tayo magdasal. In fact, kung magdadasal ka as followers of Christ, as followers of Yahweh, kung magdadasal ka, is that limited to 3 times a day?
Throughout the whole day.
Oh, kung tutunghayan niyo yung kwento ni Nehemiah, he was talking to the human king and simultaneously, he was also talking to the King of Kings. Ganun siya mag-pray eh.
Nakaka-relate tayo dyan eh. Yung parang may sasagot tayo, tapos biglang,
Lord.
in that
this,
moment.
so this habit was just inspired by this psalm. So siguro nagustuhan niya no, makapag-pray nga ng 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Pero hindi naman to sinasabi na meron tayong rule na dapat morning, afternoon. Hindi. Wala tayong limit sa pagdarasal kung kailan natin gusto mag-connect. Pero ang interesting, bakit siya nakaharap sa Jerusalem? First Kings.
First Kings.
Okay.
Chapter 8, 35 to 36.
This is the prayer of Solomon.
When heaven is shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned against you, if they pray toward this place and acknowledge your name and turn from their sin when you afflict them, then hear in heaven and forgive the sin of your servants, your people Israel, when you teach them the good way in which they should walk, and grant rain upon your land, which you have given to your people as an inheritance.
Parang may anticipation ng
Deliverance.
Deliverance.
That God will hear and forgive the sin of their people.
When?
They will be far from this place.
Right. May anticipation na mawawala kayo dito sa lugar na to. And when that happens, you pray
Toward Jerusalem.
towards Jerusalem. Bakit kaya?
Of how
Does the
God...
temple contain God?
Well,
Hindi
that's
naman,
no,
di ba?
it's
Hindi
not.
naman eh.
Pero
Hindi mo nga
parang-
mako-contain si God kahit saan eh.
Pero parang yun yung dwelling place.
Kumbaga, ito yung chosen place where His people would come to worship God. Kumbaga, simbolo na sa lugar na to, dito tayo pupunta kung gusto nating sumamba sa Kanya. Pero, nung wala na ang temple,
Wala na. Dinala na nga yung mga
hindi,
items
nga eh.
Chapter 1 pa lang eh.
Chapter 1 pa lang, natangay na lahat eh. Sinira nga yung temple, giniba yun eh. Pero pag humaharap sila doon,
Yung longing to go home,
and longing to be
to be with God, to
With
be in
God.
communion with God.
Kasi naka-exile sila eh.
naka-excel sila. Kaya doon siya humaharap. Not that he doesn't think that God is not everywhere or, God is not omnipresent.
But there's an emotional attachment
Merong
that God had
ganyan eh.
given
Oo.
us.
Para yung mga listeners natin, magkaroon sila ng mas malino na understanding dito. Ano kaya magandang analogy na pwede natin gamitin?
Pagka nasa ibang bansa, mag-gather kayo for a party and then you'd eat Filipino food.
Right.
Parang it reminds you of a place that you longed for
Mhm.
or a place that you are from.
Oo.
Parang ganun. May emotional attachment yun eh.
Right.
I don't know if that's a...
Pwede. Oo,
Pwede.
kasi naalala ko nung tumira ako ng Amerika eh. Maski nga yung mga TV shows, Filipino movies that I don't even care to watch.
Panoorin mo.
Oh, naku, pumupunta ako dun sa mga
Sila Shawi.
rental. Yung mga Pinoy stores na meron mga VHS,
VHS.
pa nga.
O Betamax.
Oh, hindi naman, VHS. VHS rentals sa US. So, panoorin ko. Because of that longing to
Yeah.
connect to your culture. So, palagay ko ganito rin yung ginagawa ni Daniel dito. Kaya humaharap siya towards that direction, Jews. Kasi may longing. A longing to be home. Longing to be part of that culture again. Longing to connect to God. Although God is omnipresent, but it has a special meaning for Jews. Tuloy natin to. Anong ginawa nitong mga detractors ni Daniel?
Nag-abang.
Inaabangan talaga nila no? Minamatsagan ang bawat kilos ni Daniel kasi alam na naman nila yung habits na to ni Daniel, di ba? Ngayon, nung nag-aabang sila na anong ginawa nila?
Siyempre, nakita nila si Daniel, nagdadasal.
Nagdadasal, sabi sa verse 11.
But this was a private room. Paano naman nila?
Kasi sabi dito,
Nakita ba sa bintana?
he went home to his upstairs room where the windows open toward Jerusalem. So medyo exposed din siguro. At saka alam mo, kung fault finder ka, gagawa ka ng paraan eh.
Naka-CCTV siguro.
Oo, kumbaga, no? Lahat yan. Bawat kilos ni Daniel, papansinin na nila.
Diba? Tapos paano nila alam na 3 times a day? Nakita nila?
I'm sure nakikita nila yan dati pa. Kaya ngayon lang naisip nila na paraan para masira nila si Daniel. Nung nabisto nila si Daniel, anong ginawa nila?
Nagsumbong.
Kay Darius, at anong sinabi nila? May mga pahimas pa yan eh.
Oh, King! Alala mo ba yun?
Oo.
Yung law na pinirmahan mo?
Pinirmahan
Oo,
mo.
syempre.
Oo, di ba?
Alala ko yan.
30 days, di ba? Natatandaan niyo ba yun na ikaw lang sasambahin at wala nang iba pa?
Oo, naalala ko yan. Ako pumirma dyan eh.
Oh, yung law mo, di ba? Hindi pwedeng i-revoke.
Kaya nga kung babalikan natin yung napag-aralan natin sa Book of Esther,
Oo.
ganyan-ganyan yung nature ng batas ng mga Persians and Medes. Hindi mo yan pwedeng i-revoke.
Not even the king himself.
Pansinin natin kung paano dinescribe si Daniel.
So, one of the exiles from Judah.
Ayan.
Oo nga, kasi he's one of the high officials. Bakit
Kailangan
yung introduction?
pagdiinan.
Oo, na, yung
Foreign
dating foreigner.
Exile lang naman from Judah. Binababa talaga, no? Talagang ginagawang walang kwenta yan. Ano daw yung paglabag na ginawa ni Daniel?
Wala siyang pakialam sa'yo.
Or sa law mo.
Kasi,
Nagdadasal pa din siya 3
Three
times a day.
3 times a day. Naku! Ano ngayon naging reaksyon ng hari?
Was much distressed and set his mind to deliver Daniel. Ano ba itong nagawa ko?
Ngayon lang niya
Tama ko
na
naman.
Teka lang. Oo. At sinabi sa verse 14, he was determined to rescue Daniel and made every effort until sundown to save him. Ano kaya ibig sabihin nun?
Kasi I think during their time, dapat on that same day, ma-carry
Yung
out yung
punishment?
parusa.
Pero, ano nangyari? Anong ginawa ng hari? Gumagawa siya ng paraan para sana.
Malusutan.
Teka lang, paano ba malulusutan to? Teka lang, baka madelay ko pa to. Bakit ganun kahalaga ang tingin niya kay Daniel?
Distinguished si Daniel. Gusto nga niyang gawing ruler over the whole kingdom. Magaling ko to na political leader. Tapos dahil
Right.
sa katangahan ko, mamamatay siya.
Oo. Tingnan natin yung mga sunod-sunod na nangyari. Nalusutan ba nung hari? Nakagawa ba siya ng lusot para kay Daniel?
Hindi.
Wala nang magawa yung hari kung hindi. Verse 16.
So the king commanded, and Daniel was brought and cast into the den of lions.
Tapos, may sinabi yung hari na mahalaga.
Ito. May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you.
Sana ma-deliver ka pa. Weird. O litong-lito na tong haring ito.
Wala na siyang magawa.
Wala na siyang magawa. Kaya sabi lang niya na sana ma-rescue ka ng Diyos mong sinasamba. Kasi siya na dapat sinasamba nun within that 30-day period ay walang magawa.
Mm.
It reminds me of Psalm 146, 3 and 4. Put not your trust in princes, in a son of man, in whom there is no salvation. Ang ganda lang ng power play dito na si Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon was like the big bad. And then, nung lumipas na sila, it's like, yay! Tapos na ba ang problema natin? Nope! May problema pa rin.
Oo.
Diba? Ito pa rin. Ito na nga, the king is actually in favor of Daniel, and still, Daniel still has problems like this. And it's like, earthly power we can't really trust. One resolution to one earthly problem is not a permanent solution.
Yeah. I think this story has a parallel. Yung kwento rin kay Esther na hindi alam nung hari that he signed an edict that would actually
Endanger
endanger
his queen.
queen, his wife. Diba?
And this was
Yeah.
going to be years later after this story.
Exactly. Oo, naulit na naman. Naulit na naman siya. Okay. In verse 17, dahil nga wala nang magawa,
So a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den. It was sealed with his own signet ring.
may signet ring. Anong ibig sabihin kaya nun? Anong kahalagahan nun? Signet ring.
Basically, government approved.
Hindi to pwedeng galawin na.
Kasi pag binuksan yan, masisira yung seal.
This is final.
I read a commentary that said itong about the sealing.
Pero sino nang makakaligtas sa mga leon? Pasukin mo man yon, baka ikaw pa yung kainin ng mga leon. Di ba? Natuwa ba ang hari? Ano bang naging reaksyon ng hari? Verse 18.
The king went to his palace and spent the night fasting. No diversions were brought to him and sleep fled from him. So
Hindi
medyo
siya
stress.
Stress.
Yeah.
Stress siya.
Stress siya. Meron din akong gusto ipaliwanag dito. Itong ginawa na to kay Daniel is an ordeal. It's not execution. Ano yung ibig sabihin nun? Kasi ito practice to ng mga sa ancient Near East. Ang gusto mo lang malaman dun sa ordeal ay if you survive it, then
Good.
you are innocent.
Okay.
Yung execution, guilty ka na kasi kaya papatayin ka eh.
Yeah, I noticed that kasi by the break of day on verse 19, the king comes back
Kasi
to check.
nga, ordeal ito. This is not execution per se.
So this is the worldview of the Persians.
In ancient Near East, in
Near East.
general, this was their understanding. Yung suspect, he's subjected to an ordeal if he's suspected of a crime, pero hindi pa sigurado kung talagang guilty siya. Yung ibang ginagawa nila, itatapon niya isang suspect sa ilog. Pag nalunod siya, kasi guilty ka. Pag nakaligtas ka, hindi ka kasi
Innocent
guilty. Kaya wala kang kasalanan. Isipin natin mabuti yan na ganito yung kanilang worldview. So that would explain later why the king had to check the den if Daniel was actually alive or not.
Yeah.
Verse 19 na tayo.
Okay, so umaga na.
Siyempre, puyat yung hari.
Takbo siya. Cried in a tone of anguish, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God whom you serve continually been able to deliver you from the lions?
Okay, ito yung sinasabi natin that this was an ordeal.
Kung inosente ka, your God will help
Deliver
you.
you.
Will deliver you.
If this was execution, there was no point to even inspect the den and check whether Daniel was alive or not. Kasi it doesn't make sense. Bakit siya nagpunta doon para malaman pa kung buhay nga ba siya? Puro leon nga yun eh. Anong chance mo na mabuhay ka pa?
And then, ang sinabi ni Daniel, which is the only line he gets this whole chapter,
Ganda ng bati niya sa hari. May the king live forever. Oh my goodness, siguro nung narinig ng hari yun, buhay! Siguro yung puso niya napalundag, ano?
grabe, no?
Ordeal kasi to, alam ko na hindi siya guilty. And then Daniel explained how he got rescued.
My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they did not harm me.
God sent his
Angel.
angel.
He shut the lions' mouths.
Okay. The lions were not able to hurt him.
Because I was found blameless
Before
before
him.
him and also before you, O king.
After he was subjected to this ordeal, he was proven to be
Innocent.
innocent. Innocent si Daniel saan?
Sa law?
Intindihin natin kung ano yung law.
To make petition only to the
To
king.
pray only to the king, which he did not do.
Yeah, so
He
it's
prayed to
actually-
Yahweh.
Oo.
Ano yung innocence doon? That the law itself,
Is faulty.
yes.
Ah.
That the law itself is faulty. Why?
Because hindi dapat wino-worship or pinapray yan.
Hindi talaga
Ay,
dapat.
hindi siya talaga
Wala kang
dapat
choices eh. You're not given any choices. You are only to pray to one God. So even if he violated, he did. He actually
Yeah.
violated that law. Grabe to. This is so confusing to the king.
It might be
Or
by
to
the law,
Darius.
but it is not just. It is not right.
Like, kasi this is a law that's written by men.
Men.
And men are
Fickle.
sinful.
Yeah. And,
And you
particularly
don't
dito,
necessarily make good laws.
they have their own agenda as to why they want that law there.
Summarily, this law was said to be wrong to begin with.
Yeah.
It's corrupt, it's immoral, it's ungodly. And so, for Daniel to violate, so to speak, that law, hindi siya violation. It's confronting that evil law. And God proved to everyone that what Daniel did was not wrong. Tapos nung tinapon pa nga sila, binong kasama pati mga bata.
Oo nga.
Grabe, no?
Masyadong malupit ito.
Oo nga eh.
Yung mga misis, yung mga
And I
basahin
think yun yung problema about evil eh. Nadadamay pati yung mga tao na
Totoo.
Innocent.
hindi natin...
Mahilig tayo dun sa reasoning na, wala naman akong bang sinasaktan eh. Ano ngayon kung ginagawa ko to? Ako lang naman ito eh. That is a
Without
very
realizing
myopic
na-
view of sin. Right.
And I think other people are always affected by anything that we do.
Kita mo nga, di ba yung naging reaction ng mga leon?
Ha.
Finally!
Gutom.
Breaking of the fast!
Look at that. The lions overpowered them and crushed all their bones.
Gutom na gutom.
Gutom na gutom sila. Puntahan na natin yung huling parte nitong story. And this is
So this
about
is
the
25
vindication.
to 28?
Okay, 25 to 28.
Bago na namang decree.
Bago na namang decree.
Hilig talaga sa mga
Oo,
decree ng mga
oo,
to,
oo.
no? Grabe.
Pero tapos na ba yung 30 days?
Di ba?
Diba, parang
Hindi pa
yung
eh.
araw pa lang to siguro.
Ito yung medyo challenging sa akin eh. Paano niya binali yung decree na yon na una niyang sinulat? Kasi dapat ini-implement pa rin yun.
Oo
Dito
nga,
ako
kasi-
nahirapan eh.
Again, going back to Esther, dahil hindi mabali yung edict ng king, kailangan gumawa ng bagong edict.
Counter edict.
Oo. So, is this a counter edict?
It's probably the counter edict.
I make a decree that in all my royal dominion, people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He who has saved Daniel from the power of the lions.
Paano nito na-counter yung unang decree? Parang hirap isipin, di ba?
If I were to guess, it's like, no, wait, I'm not gonna guess.
Sabihin ko sana. Guess? Anyway. Like, kasi yung unang decree was to pray to the king. Tapos ito naman, to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel.
Ito yung mahirap unawain dito. Did he give an exemption kay Daniel? Remember, Daniel was proven innocent. And the proof of his innocence also proved that the edict
Was
was
wrong.
wrong.
So they botched the edict completely?
I don't
Possibly.
know. It's a possibility. Again, in the practice of the Persians, how do you do it? You just have to write another edict to counter that. This could be the counter edict, but I'm not very clear.
Yeah, we're not sure about
We're not
that.
very sure. But the point is, Daniel's rescue, his redemption, proved that whatever Daniel was doing, praying to Yahweh, was right. And that the edict was wrong.
The first one.
The first one. So, ano itong nilalaman ng edict?
He is the living God, enduring forever, and his kingdom shall never be destroyed.
Sinabi pa that this is a God who rescues and saves. So this was his conclusion about the God of Daniel.
Kahit ginawa na ni Yahweh yun para kay Daniel, wording pa rin ni Darius, and fear before the God of Daniel.
The God of Daniel,
that's-
not the God of Darius.
Parang yung kay Nebuchadnezzar. It's like, yeah, your God.
So ibig mong sabihin, nag-convert si Darius?
Madali lang pa rin tanggapin na may isa pang God kasi polytheist sila.
Oh, kasi polytheist nga naman sila. Welcome lahat. Oo.
Galing, bigyan ng
Oo.
jacket.
Sige, di ba? O, pwede na yan. Okay ang Diyos na yan. Basta respetuhin niyo yan, ha? So ngayon, paano na-vindicate ng Panginoon si Daniel?
Because he continued to pray to God despite the edict. After everything that's happened, it was still proven even to himself na I did the right thing. It was right of me to continue to trust God, even if it seems na sobrang bleak na nung aking future. When I was studying this actually, na what if I was the one there? Would people say the same things about me? Oh, she's faithful in everything she does. Would I have had integrity if I was the one there?
Tsaka it's admirable na kahit alam niyang 1 month lang yung decree, hindi niya talaga kinompromise pa rin.
Hindi yan tiniis na lang, ano?
Yun nga, na it's really in these little inconveniences doon natin makikita na si Lord ba talaga is Lord of our lives.
For someone in exile, lumayo ka na dun sa bansa mo at lahat ng symbols ng religion, ng iyong identity, culture mo, tinanggal na lahat. Sa tinagal-tagal ni Daniel dun sa Babylon, hindi pa rin nabura yung identity niya kay Yahweh. Kahit anong mangyari, hindi ito mawawala sa kanya. Kaya yung loyalty niya kay Yahweh, solid. At naintindihan niya, kasi nga dito sa kwento ng Daniel, especially here in chapter 6, you see overlapping kingdoms. The kingdom of man and the kingdom of God. And Daniel knew that his loyalty should be to the kingdom of God.
Which shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end.
This will in fact be clearer when we go to the apocalyptic literature part of Daniel. Yung turnover ng rulers, ganun na naman eh. Meron talagang isang kingdom na magtatagal. Kaya itong pinagsisilbihan niya ngayon, hindi yan magtatagal. At isang maganda ring example ni Daniel sa atin, that he is an evangelist. Lahat ng pagkakataong ginagawa niya to proclaim who God is.
Yeah.
He gets the story out.
Yeah.
The story about God. Kailangan marinig ninyo.
And always pointing to who is
Always
responsible
pointing
for
to
this.
Yahweh. Always
Yeah.
pointing to Him. Yun ang maganda dun eh. Pero alam mo, hindi natin kayang gawin yun kung hindi natin personal na kilala ang Diyos. Mag-iimbento ka lang. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng ganitong kalalim na conviction na kahit itapon ako sa mga leon, hindi ako matatakot. Mawala man ako, kainin man ako o hindi. Ang importante, na-proclaim ko sa inyo kung sino talaga ang Diyos. He's an evangelist. Sana ganito tayo, no? Na sa lahat ng ginagawa natin, we always proclaim God, who He is. His faith is very public.
So that is Daniel 6, and that is the end of the narrative part. Stay tuned for our next episodes on the apocalyptic literature ng 7 to 12. Medyo matindi, medyo rock and roll yung part na to. In the meantime, if you got something out of this, we'd love to hear from you. Please email us at ucminterface@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you soon on the next episode. See ya!
All right. God bless.
Bye!
You have listened to the UCM Interface Bible Study here at 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, Agapay ng Sambayanan. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, and Facebook account, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio. Hear our full episodes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, at marami pang iba. Join us at Union Church of Manila, Rada, Corno Legazpi, Makati City.